Hey guys, it's Tanner here doing Love, and I'm recording this on a Sunday, wearing my Super Bowl shirt. What better day to review Draft Day? So let's talk about this movie. I'm a huge NFL fan, and I wanted to see the movie Draft Day for a while. This was released back in 2014, and the other day I finally rented it and saw it. So what did I think about it? Well, let's talk about the premise of this movie. This is about the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, Sonny Weaver, portrayed by Kevin Costner, and he makes a ridiculous trade to get the #1 pick. But what does he do with that? Well, that'll have to be determined. So let's start with the positives. I really like how this whole movie takes place on draft day. Yeah, it takes place on just one day, and you really feel the pressure kind of building on the characters. You always show the clock, how much time they have left, and I think that was a really good choice by the director, Ivan Reitman. I also really like Kevin Costner in this movie. I've been a fan of his for a while. My favorite performance of him is, with Dances with Wolves, but this is my second favorite performance. He does a great job of Sonny Weaver, this GM that just has a ton of stress on him, and it's not like he yells every other scene. No, you can see that stress by just his facial expressions and acting. I really liked him. But what really shocked me in a good way in this film is his expecting girlfriend, portrayed by Jennifer Garner. Usually in these movies, kind of the girlfriend or the wife character is just there to look nice and be like, oh, I support you. But this movie is different. She works at the Brown facility. She's the cap room manager. She, kind of had to work her way to this position. She's given a lot of good character traits. She's a really strong character. And I thought that sometimes I liked her a bit more than Sonny Weaver, and that's kind of not a diss on Kevin Costner. I just like the way her character is written. Another thing I enjoy as a football fan is that how the draft prospects are kind of portrayed. Not everything in the NFL is good and bad. Sometimes there's a moral in between where, people want to do things, even though this isn't sometimes not the best motives or great motives, just bad actions they choose. And I think that that this movie portrays that really well. Speaking of movie, I thought that this film was shot really well. There's a lot of cool shot compositions where someone's talking on the phone and it's kind of split down the middle. The soundtrack's really great. There's a lot of good establishing shots. But where this movie just really, I think, shoots itself in the foot and really stops it from being great are the other side characters. Besides Sonny Weaver, his mom, his expecting girlfriend, and the NFL prospects in this movie, the side characters are just really bad. For instance, Denis Leary portrays he's the head coach of the Cleveland Browns in this movie. And at first I thought, oh, that's a fantastic casting choice. Denis Leary as his head coach. But he's just, I'm the tough coach in this movie, blah, 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 and I don't like what you're doing because of this. But why is he that way? I mean, we have one line of dialogue where he kind of explains it, but that's not really anything. And then the comedic characters in this movie are not that great. You have this one intern who's this young guy, and they try to, do some comedy with him. Did not work. It's sometimes borderline cringy in this movie. It's like, oh my goodness. And then also the Brown scouting team, how they depict them in this movie. They're just the funny guys, and they make jokes all the time, like, oh, look at that, ha, 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 ha. And when you're trying to take them seriously later in the film, it just really doesn't work. I think those characters bogged this movie down from an 8.5 lower down to where my final grade is going to be. What I will say about draft day, though, is when you actually get to the NFL draft, it's really great and exciting. They do some really cool things, and I love that. But getting there is a bit tough at times. I feel like there's 15 minutes of this movie that could have just been cut out, some filler in it. Am I glad I saw the movie Draft Day? Yeah, I did. And overall, I thought it was a positive viewing experience. But it's a film I'm probably not going to see again for a long time. I'm going to give Draft Day a 7 out of 10. Kevin Costner, Jennifer Garner, really kind of carry this movie in that final sequence. And Chadwick Boseman's great too, and that final sequence really carry it. But besides that, kind of let me down. So if you guys have saw this movie, let me know in the comments below what's your thoughts on it. Until then, this has been Taman doing love, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.